Hello everybody, I am Amal. Today I will talk about the passive chapter 11. There are two types of sentences in English language: active sentences, passive sentences. Active sentences which begin with a subject, passive sentences which begin with an object. Now, look at the book, the first lesson, forming the passive. Active, Mary helped the boy. Passive, the boy was helped by Mary. General steps to change sentences from active to passive. Start the new sentences with object. Put one of the suitable be form according to the tense of the sentences. Put the past participle tense, the complement of the sentences. Active, an accident happened. Passive, none. Only transitive verbs, verbs that can be followed by an object, are used in the passive. It is not possible to use intransitive verbs such as happen, sleep, come, seem in the passive. Now, form the passive be plus past participle. We can change sentence from active to passive depending on some rules according to the tense of the sentence. If the verb in the sentence is simply present, we must add is are plus past participle. Mary helps the boy. The boy is helped by Mary. If the verb in the sentence is present progressive, add is are plus being plus past participle. Mary is helping the boy. The boy is being helped by Mary. If the verb in the sentence is present perfect, add has or have plus been plus past participle. Mary has helped the boy. The boy has been helped by Mary. If the verb in the sentence is simple past, add was or were plus past participle. Mary helped the boy. The boy was helped by Mary. If the verb in the sentence is past progressive, add was or were plus being plus past participle. Mary was helping the boy. The boy was being helped by Mary. If the verb in the sentence is past perfect, add had plus been plus past participle. Mary had helped the boy. The boy had been helped by Mary. If the verb in the sentence is modal, simple future, will plus infinitive become will be past participle. Mary will help the boy. The boy will be helped by Mary. Verb in the sentence is be going to, is are plus going to plus be past participle. Mary is going to help the boy. The boy is going to be helped by Mary. If the verb in the sentence is a future perfect, will plus have plus been plus past participle. Mary will have helped the boy. The boy will have been helped by Mary. Was the boy helped by Mary? Is the boy being helped by Mary? Was the boy being helped by Mary? In the question form of the passive, verbs and auxiliary verbs precedes the subject. The question is formed auxiliary verb plus object plus verb 3 plus by plus subject plus complement. For example, did Ahmed eat fish? Ahmed eat fish. Fish was eaten by Ahmed. Was fish eaten by Ahmed? Lesson 2. Using the passive. Why should you use the passive? You don't want to say who or what did the action. You don't know who did the action. The object is the most important part of the sentence. Usually the passive is used without a by phrase. The passive is most frequently used when it is not known or not important to know exactly who performs an action. Rice is grown in India. Rice is grown in India by people, by farmers, by someone. It is not known or important to know exactly who grows rice in India. Our house was built in 1980. This olive oil was imported from Crete. A, B, and C illustrate the most common use of the passive without The by phrase. Life on the Mississippi was written by Mark Twain. The by phrase is included only if it is important to know who performs an action, as in D, where by Mark Twain is important formation. My aunt made this rug. If the speaker knows who performs an action, usually the active is used as in A. This rug was made by my auntie. That rug was made by my mother. Sometimes, even when the speaker knows who performs an action, she or he chooses to use the passive with the by phrase because she or he wants to focus attention on the subject of the sentence, and if the focus of attention is on two rugs. Lesson 3. Indirect objects as passive subjects. All sentences have a subject and a verb. Some sentences may also have an object after the main verb. An object is a part of the predicate in a sentence. It receives the action done by the subject. Two types of objects within a sentence: direct object and indirect object. A direct object is a noun or noun phrase or pronoun that receives the action of a verb directly. A direct object answers the question what or who or whom. Sentences that has a direct object may or may not have an indirect object. An indirect object is the noun or noun phrase or pronoun to whom or for whom the action is done. It receives the action through the direct object and not directly. Indirect object answer the question at whom or to whom or for whom or from whom. Some gave Mrs. Lee an award. Mrs. Lee was given an award. Indirect object, direct object. Either an indirect object or a direct object may become the subject of a passive sentences. A, B, C, and D have the same meaning. Some gave an award to Mrs. Lee. An award was given to Mrs. Lee. Notic and D. When the direct object becomes the subject, to is usually kept in front of the indirect object. The omission of to is more common in British English than American English. An award was given Mrs. Lee. Lesson 4. The passive form of modals and phrasal modals. The passive form modal plus be plus past participle. Tom will be invited to the picnic. Window can't be opened. Children should be taught to respect their elders. May I be exist from class. The book had better be returned to the library from Friday. This letter ought to be sent before June 1st. Mary has to be told about or change in plans. Fred is supposed to be told about the meeting. Past passive form model plus have been plus past participle. The letter should have been sent last week. This house must have been built over 200 years ago. Jack ought to have been invited to the party. See chapter 9 and 10 for a discussions of the form, meaning and use of modals and phrasal modals.